Welcome back to another day of living in the new house. My oh my, did we actually have quite a busy night last night, and I didn't show you any of it. First of all, we got ordering up materials, so I've ordered about 750 kilos worth of plaster, 13 sheets of plasterboard and a load of other bits. In the end we ordered it from Wix because it was the best price I could get. Did have a slight mess up where I ordered, I've got like a smart spending discount voucher scheme through work. I bought a £500 voucher and then realised it's in stores only. So yeah, we now have £500 sitting on a voucher that we need to go spend at some point. So that's all good. But yeah, we've ordered all the plaster. That should all be here tomorrow. I also got woken up this morning by a call from the firm that's going to be delivering the radiators. They are not arriving today. Apparently there was some confirmation I was supposed to check in an email that I checked and couldn't find, but hey ho. They're actually going to arrive tomorrow as well, and the expansion vessel I ordered is going to arrive tomorrow, so tomorrow is going to be a very, very busy day of deliveries. Brings us up to date with today, where we are now. I've been shopping this morning to pick up some bits to make my life a little bit easier. We have a spray bottle for wetting the brickwork, because apparently if you're trying to build bricks on old bricks with mortar, it's better to actually wet them because they're going to be so dry. I've also nicked some grinding discs off my dad. A quick brush for brushing PVA onto the walls. So also we're looking in when we're plastering finish layers over painted walls, I need to actually put some PVA on the wall to help it stick. So we've got a 5 litre drum of PVA arriving as well. I bought some more orange buckets. You can never have too many orange buckets. There's 3 more there. Idea being I've got 1 for mortar, 1 for plaster, 1 for water, and 1 for the filler compound for filling in the gaps between the boards. And then I've also bought, because I really don't want to be mixing 3/4 of a ton of plaster by hand, I bought a mixing rod which I can bang in my drill. Might be used for blending smoothies, or if the macerator in the downstairs toilet fails, we have a backup. Yeah, anyway, we've got a busy day ahead of us, so I've got to get up in the loft and finish putting some boards down for the plumber, get those cut to length. I also want to start laying some bricks, and I also need to clear out some space downstairs to make room for all the plaster, because I can't go in the garage because the garage is full, so it's going to have to come inside the house, which means I need to clear up some floor space. So, haven't quite worked out the order of operations, because ideally I need to do the boards before the plumber arrives, but I want to start the brickworks because that's a 24-hour curing time. So the earlier I do that, the quicker I can get on with laying the next layer. So I'm going to make a decision off camera, and then I'm going to get on and do some stuff, and you will find out what that is pretty much now. That's the first set of hatching in, so we've got one board there and another board there, so we're going to do the zigzag pattern all the way down this platform. Now, annoyingly, I've had to chew up a load of extra time because those half board widths are not quite half board, they're 650mm, and the boards are 1200 long, which means I have to cut one board in half and can't use 2 halves because of the size of the platform. So that's kind of really frustrating. So I had to go out and buy some more boards, but I would rather it look neat and tidy for the sake of an extra 30, 40, 50 quid on some spare board. So yeah, we've got those two in. We're going to go and chop down the rest and get the rest in and get the tank back up right, but that's taken up more time than it should have done. But yeah, once we've done that and we've got the tank back in, then we can start on the brickwork. Well, when I finally got to the point I had the wood and I could chop it, it turned into the half-hour job that it was supposed to be. So we now have zigzag platform, full width of the rafters now, all the way up now. There is quite a lot of waste, which I may show you a little bit later off it. Some fairly big chunks, so either that's going to go into doing something somewhere, or potentially maybe we'll use it for like building some shelving or something up here in the garage at some point in the future. But yeah, the other thing I didn't show you as well is this is the paneling we put up. So this is obviously that's where the tank's going, and then this is where all the interface, the valves, pipe work, the control system for the shower, all the isolation valves for pipe work is all going to be built onto there as a nice sort of control board as well. So it makes it all nice and neat. But we are done. I can finally get out of the loft, which means I'm going to start on either tidying the living room or chopping some bricks. So more noise, more mess. Let's keep on going. Oh, it's like the channel tunnel breaking through. Hello. Nice work.
Thank you.
Well done. That's the cleanest core hole I've seen in a while, given it wasn't your normal tools.
I know.
Bomber stuff.
Using foreign tools.
It has just started raining though, so.
Yeah, there is that little issue.
Yeah. Oh, right. Update from me then. I managed to go in the back of the garage and lift up a load of bricks, which was not an easy feat because it's like buried behind all the carpet and sofas and everything else, but we've got some in here now to at least make a start. I think what I need to do though is clear up some space. So we're going to get this timber back upstairs for the 19th millionth time. And just have a general tidy up down here to clear up some free space, and then hopefully we can make a start on bricking that up then. Well, we've managed to clean up a bit of space in here. It's not perfect at the moment, but at least we can actually walk through here. I've moved the lumber upstairs, got rid of some of the bricks, the plaster. Just had a little small clean up. See, it's still a mess. But what I've realised is actually when we come to store the plasterboard, rather than trying to store it in the dining room area, it's probably going to be better to store it in the living room area between all the lights, because it gives a good movement around it as well. So by the end of today / tomorrow morning, ideally I need to clear this area up, but I may need to clear some of that area up just to help move some bits into. But while we still have daylight and have some noise, I want to start cutting bricks, because at least I can be laying bricks tonight without making too much noise. So I've got a few in from the garage now, as I mentioned earlier, so I'm going to start spacing those out, working out how much, leaving some room for mortar, marking up where we need to cut them. Now it is still chucking it down. Ideally I was trying to keep the rain outside. Keep the rain outside? We hopefully keep the rain outside. But what I think I'm going to do is actually use the porch at the front, because it's covered, and actually chop the bricks out there, because then at least I'm out the rain, but I can be kicking the dust out into the rain, which will help suppress it down a little bit as well. So let's get a few bricks marked up. Let's get the diamond blade out. Let's do some test cuts, see how I get on with it. And then, yeah, hopefully we should at least have enough bricks just to get up to, hopefully this sort of level ideally, by the end of today. And then we'll have to mix up a small amount of mortar. We're going to do some learning, because I've never done bricklaying before. And as always, whenever I do these things, the first bit of it is going to be painful. But eventually we've just got my eye and we'll get quicker, we'll get quicker, we'll get quicker. We've marked up these 4 bricks that we want to cut. So we've got these 2, which we're going to cut in half. And that'll do the sections down the bottom down here. So it will be far easier to cut a half brick and have it going in like that, with space for mortar on both sides, than trying to work out exactly the right size. And then we've got these 2, which are more like 3/4 bricks, and those are for doing that gap there. Now you may notice that there's these 2 here, and that's because that gap there is roughly the right size for 2 whole bricks. So we should only need to make 4 cuts, and that will take us right the way up to we need to do 1 more brick actually, to get us right the way up to the top here. And if we can get up to there tonight, I'll be really pleased with that. Now there is a bit of cleaning up we've got to do with knocking some old mortar and edges off these bricks just to get the right finish, and we do need to knock this bottom layer of mortar off. We'll probably end up losing that brick in the process of doing that, because it is only just sort of hanging on the bottom by the mortar, but we'll see how we get on. So let's measure up that final brick we need. Let's go chopping them, and then I'll hopefully come back and update you when we've cleaned things up, and we're going to start building some walls. Just a small amount of dust. Who's an idiot sandwich? I'm an idiot sandwich. Not only had I buried all the bricks in the back of the garage, I'd also buried the towels in the back of the garage, so I just had to go out in the pouring rain and go and retrieve those, just leaving footsteps and dust everywhere. But hey ho. What we have done now is we've just cleaned up the remaining area inside of here, knocked off any loose edges and tidied things up. I've also got this layer of damp proof that we had from our parents left over, which I'm just going to pop under there. There is damp proof under there, but I think it'd be prevalent to put an extra layer underneath there. So we're pretty much now all prepped and ready to go. I've got my spray bottle. We're going to various bits to get it going. And I think we're at the stage now where we're going to mix up some mortar, which means I can pull out my handy dandy tool bit, put it in my drill, give it a good whizzle, and let's do our first bit of bricklaying. The only other thing I need is a spirit level, just to check things are level. But let's get mixing. Well, that was hard going. The mixer helped to start with, but it was struggling to get down to the bottom. I think I might be better mixing it in the yellow tub next time. It will just give me a little bit more action. But yeah, that's hard going on the wrist just doing that amount. So we've done about half a bag. Hopefully we've mixed it well enough now. So I'm going to spray down the area. That's got about 80 minutes working time, so I need to get laying. That's the first bit of bricklaying I've ever done. No idea how that is. Probably a little bit messy. I found once I got up to here, it's a little bit easier to lay things because I've got a little bit more room for activity. But yeah, lessons learned off that one. One, this brick was the wrong size. I had to quickly go buzz that off and annoy the neighbours late at night. Two, I don't think I quite got the water levels right with the mix. It kept slipping off these trowels. I think it's supposed to like stick, I suppose, but it's in there. Three, trying to get it to stick and go up to the side was difficult. I think what I may need to do, and you saw it later on, I was actually pre-wetting the bricks on both sides, both the ones I was putting in, because I forgot to do it on the ones in on there. But yeah, it's semi-level. I'm not going to claim it's the most level thing in the world, or it's the neatest pattern in the world, but looks okay, I suppose. We'll let that go off, see how strong it is. I mean, it sort of seems semi-stable at the moment. I'll get rid of all of this stuff just into a bag somewhere, just to get rid of and chuck. But yeah, that's my first bit of bricklaying. Now, I'm not going to do any more tonight. I think what we're going to focus on now is cleaning up the room and the space. But yeah, I think we'll find out how good/bad that was tomorrow and whether we need to rip it out or not. The last thing we need to do before I go now is clear out some space here. I've just had a text confirmation from Wix saying that the delivery were done to curbside between 7 AM and 1 PM tomorrow. It's still raining. Ideally, I don't want the plasterboard getting wet. So what I'm hoping it's going to stop raining, but I also want to make sure that this area is just prepped that we can come straight in and bring it straight in here. So we need about a 2.4 metre run, and we need about 1.2 metres wide, because that's the biggest piece of plasterboard, plus all the bits for the plaster. So we're going to gut all this. We're going to bag up all the old cable, bag up all the old copper, ready to go to scrap at some point. I'll have to sort through it later, and we'll probably stash it along this wall somewhere, because they've finished pinning those cables now. The only corner they need access to is that one. So in the morning, I've got to remove some of that wood, buck it up, and get rid of that as well. So we're going to go into hyper cleaning, hyper tidy mode, and then we're going to head back to my parents and grab some food. But we've got a lot to do. we go. Well, there we go. About an hour and 40 odd minutes of clean up. We've now got everything stacked out the way. And we've got room for delivery tomorrow now. It's amazing what a good clean-up can do to make it feel like we're actually nearing completion of the first stage of the rewire. I feel a lot more settled now in terms of things look like they're starting to get more livable, starting to get more normal. I know we've got a lot of work to do, and I know this is become a mess again when we start chasing pipes for the radiators, but we're getting places. So we've got a huge amount of junk now we still need to sort our ways through, but we've sorted out the wiring, copper, there's still some brass fittings and stuff I've got to disconnect, plastics, other metals and stuff, so they're all prepped, ready to go. Well, not prepped, I've got a bit more cleaning up to do, but we can take those down to the recycling centre. Though I am tempted, I don't know if anybody else has seen it, there's a guy on YouTube called Big Stack D, and all he does is melt down scrap metal and coppers, and like aluminium cans and stuff like that. And he makes like ingots and coins and stuff, and then he just literally stacks them in a cupboard and keeps hold of them. I kind of really want to do that, but I don't have the money to be owning and buying a forge and doing some forging in the garden just yet. Never know, maybe I'll hold on to that and do that as a interesting piece of content. But for now, at least we've got it off to one side and out the way. Kitchen is still absolute mess, but the main thing is if the delivery does arrive at 7 o'clock tomorrow, which means I need to be here by 7 o'clock tomorrow, we've at least got somewhere where we can start stacking the materials as it comes in. So, yeah, mega progress. The other good news is my wall hasn't fallen down yet. It seems to be solidifying quite nicely. A little bit off kilt on this side here, but it's there. But yeah, it's been a mammoth day's progress. We've built some wall, we've reconstructed the platform in there, we've done a massive tidy up from there. The electrician's now wired the kitchen up now. Just got to do the data, but he's also started pinning the cables, so you'll see down here now they're all pinned in place, ready for me to come and fix over them, plaster. But there are a couple of items where they're running a bit high. I may ask if they can just chase them a little bit deeper, just so I don't end up having to plaster quite a thicker layer across the whole wall. But yeah, mammoth progress. I think tomorrow's plan of action is I need to obviously bring all day of deliveries. So we're going to have the radiators arriving tomorrow. We've got the expansion vessel arriving tomorrow. We've got all the materials for the plastering arriving tomorrow. But I think the main things I need to do is, one, as I keep saying, get rid of the rest of that wood. I need to buck it up and just get rid of it now. Just so we can pin the cable cords. That will free up a load more room. I need to do another layer of bricks. Now, I haven't done loads there, so I'm hoping I can come in relatively early and at least get up to here. And then after that point, it's going to get really messy because I need to be taking these bricks out. I may do some research on the best way to do it, because I think just using the SDS is just going to end up doing more damage to the wall than it should do. So I may actually be better like trying to drill out parts of it. Haven't quite decided yet, so we'll have a look at that. But that's going to slow down progress. But yeah, those are literally the main things for tomorrow: buck up wood and continue building. So hope you've enjoyed today's vlog, and if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing, and I will catch you all for more delivery related shenanigans tomorrow.